Cooksy Mob, what's up, everybody? How we doing? Happy President's Day. Anyway, so Oakland was last weekend. We're going to get into that. I'm going to talk a little bit about Nick Way and the conversation we had about concussions. And it's essentially I called him, Mitch Payton, and everybody around Cameron McAdoo cowards. So I'll update you on how that conversation went, and we'll go from there. Thank EBC Brakes, guys. These guys kick ass. I got to hang out with Steve and James at the AIM Expo last week. They support privateer Kevin Moran's. He's kind of their flagship guy. They're just cool people, and they support the sport. So, yeah, get yourself some EBC. Complete Racing Solutions. You guys know Coach Rob. Smartest guy in the industry when it comes to exercise programs, nutrition, not burning athletes out, building stronger, more durable athletes. That's Coach Rob. Head over to Complete Racing Solutions. He's got a program starting at $30 a month. They go all the way up, depending on how serious you want to take it. My buddies at Steel City Men's Clinic, they got me healthy. I had a cold. They got me some supplements. Hit them up. They'll run your blood work, and they will keep you healthy. And then, of course, Epic Garage Designs, the studio. Check it out. Get a floor. They kick ass. So without further ado.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
You all know exactly who I am.
All right, guys, so we had some excitement at the Oakland Supercross. I'm going to start doing my race recaps. Literally, I call them the overreaction because that's what we're going to do. Minutes after the race is over, I'm going to go live, and we're just going to I'm going to call them the overreaction. So I had an Oakland overreaction that I put up right after the race, and I'm going to start doing this weekly. So if you guys want, as soon as that checkered flag falls, we watch the two interviews. Click over to YouTube, and I'll be live to answer questions, chat, overreact about crazy things we saw. I won't have inside scoops because I haven't got a chance to text everybody, find out what's going on. You'll have to check back later in the week for the stuff that I talked to these different people about. But guys, there's a question right now on whether Justin Barsha should be on probation, and I don't think he should. I don't think those were probation-worthy takeout moves that he did where he put Colt Nichols off. The Colt Nichols one was after the whoops. Lots of guys. The track kind of came together right there. Did he have to do that? No, but everybody knows that's how Barcia races. So you have to kind of be careful. If that 51's around you, you just have to beware. And that's why, that's part of the reason Anderson lost it and just started cleaning him out. Yeah, it is what it is. And what he did to Adam Cincerillo, though, and the reason I have a problem with it, he shouldn't be on probation. I don't want the AMA dictating it. But Adam Cincerillo, Colt Nichols, and these guys, when they get a chance, they need to blast him and just put him on his ass. Because that's what he did. What I don't like is when guys punch down, so to speak. If you want to battle Tomac like that, go for it. If you want to battle guys at the same level as you currently, but don't go after a guy like Adam Cincerillo. We all know he's got an injury. His hand keeps going numb. He's just trying to ride through it, figure out a way to manage it, and kind of rebuild himself. And then he gives you the line, and you go way outside and clean him out. Like, that's punching down. You didn't need to do that, Barsha. Like, come on, man. Are you kidding me? What he did to Colt, that was early in the race. Sometimes that stuff happens all over the pack, and when you're first kind of shuffling, and you can make a couple passes quick. That one I give him a pass on, but what he did to Adam Cincerillo, and these are two guys that kind of has covered right now, so stop punching downward. Well, I shouldn't say he's got Colt covered because Colt was fast in that main event. There was one towards the middle of that race. He had one of the fastest laps on the track, period. So Colt Nichols is finding his form on that 450. I'll give you that. McAdoo and Pierce Brown. That incident also was stupid by Cameron McAdoo. So let me just bring you up on the history of Cameron McAdoo and Pierce Brown. So this all started back when McAdoo did his front flip at Atlanta. Wasn't concussed if you talk to the people around him. I beg to differ, and I think he was a hazard that whole weekend. He ended up causing Chris Blows to have to take a helicopter ride. I think it was stupid to let him race then. But there was an incident in the whoops where Pierce and him crashed together, and literally McAdoo was in such a hurry to get on his bike. He stepped on the torso of Pierce Brown. He stepped on him to get back up. I mean, never mind sportsmanship. That was bad. That was a really bad look. It was a shitty thing to do, and Pierce was pissed. And he bided his time, and he waited until he got an opportunity in the Outdoor Nationals at Paula, and he blasted McAdoo. He hit him so hard it broke his leg. I don't think Pierce wanted to break his leg, but don't step on somebody in the whoops if you don't want to get taken out, if you don't want to ride that way. And then I kind of was told they buried it, and it was bygones would be bygones. And the way Pierce rode him, it seemed like, Pierce rides clean unless you mess with him, and he clearly can go nuclear like he did when he broke McAdoo's leg. I would think McAdoo wouldn't have wanted to do that. Yeah, you're trying to win a championship in McAdoo and trying to really get that to that next level. Pierce is just trying to he had a bad concussion at the first round. He's just trying to get some results in the top fives, maybe some podiums. That was a bad move by McAdoo because Pierce is fast and Pierce is aggressive, and Pierce already broke his leg once. You want to put that guy down? You want that guy pissed at you? Not a good plan. And you know what? Pierce owes him one. So speaking of Cameron McAdoo, he's the subject of multiple concussion protocol discussions that you could say we had. I don't think there is a concussion protocol. When's the last time the Alpine Star Medic Unit sat a guy down and said, you absolutely cannot race? Yeah, Dylan Ferrandis, but that's like obvious. He was unconscious for minutes. And I'll bet you if Yamaha pushed, they could have got him cleared to race. So this concussion protocol, it's more like suggestions, not necessarily a protocol. They just use like these fancy words to make it sound like they give a shit, like football and some of the other sports. It's just kind of a follow along league. But Nick didn't appreciate that I called everybody around Cameron McAdoo, including him, cowards for not sitting him out at A2. And Nick's point was, listen, I'm his trainer, I'm his racing, I'm his coach. My job is not to sit him down. My job is to make sure he can get out there and do this. And he said, if you don't race, you lose your job. If you lose your job, am I going to give the kid a job? He's all, I don't have, some landscaping company or something where I could just say, hey, Cameron, sorry it didn't work out with motocross. Here's your job. You get on the track, you perform, or you're out. That's the hard, cold reality of it. And he's all, if I send him out there, yes, it's tough because he doesn't want to have to sit him out. But if he sits him out, then he tells Cameron that. Cameron gets fired, and Cameron goes, well, Nick, why'd you sit me out? I could have probably raced. It's just he didn't feel like it was his decision to make that, and it's really not. In the end, it really comes down to just the whole culture of it and team managers, Alpine Stars stepping in to make some decisions. Like if they have an obvious situation similar to what McAdoo's was, Alpine Star Medical Unit needs to sit him down. Mitch needs to take a little bit more care, and I think this falls on Mitch and Alpine Stars. But at the same time, Mitch has got to go answer his sponsors. If he's got no riders on the track, what does he tell his sponsors? It's a tough situation. It's not a simple fix, but I understand where Nick and those guys were coming from, and I still stand by. I wouldn't necessarily call them cowards. That was a bit strong, and that was probably harsh on my part. But it's also, there needs to be some sort of, maybe, I don't know exactly. There's not a quick fix, but they need to pay more attention to it and understand there's some seriously long-term effects. And if you look at these guys on those first couple laps, how close they are, and they're jumping and they're risking lives. You send a guy out there who's concussed, you're not only risking him, you're risking the guys around him. Ask Chris Blows how that worked out when McAdoo went out there in Atlanta and got him hurt. So it's a little more important than just that. And then I also want to give you guys a chance. Hey, check out. So I like to talk about everyday life stuff on my All Day Everyday podcast. I have my friend Gina on there. I'm trying to make her regular on this podcast, and she's so funny. She's so smart. She's in the Coach Rob intelligence level, positive life stuff. But I had her on there to talk about motocross and how our obsession can essentially cost us relationships. It's awesome, guys. Check it out. She's got some really simple ideas to help us maintain functional relationships so we're not all like on our third or fourth divorces. I've already got one divorce, and I went to Gina. I said, hey, can you help me and all these other guys out? And, and we're going to talk about other topics too, but check that out. And yeah, I'll put a link to it right here. And yeah, subscribe to All Day Every Day. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get that channel monetized. You have to get 1,000 subscribers to be monetized, and then a certain amount of hours viewed. But we're at like 277 subscribers on All Day Every Day. If we can get that up to 1,000, I told Gina I'll split it with her, and then I'll have her on there full time. So if you guys could do that, I would really appreciate it. And have a good President's Day.